everyone, and welcome to our latest edition of Mowlem's Racing Travels. In this edition, Johnny helps some of our Afghanistan heroes rehabilitate with the use of karting. And we check out Johnny's new deal with Dyson Racing.
Stephen Shine. I'm a left leg above knee on that side. Right side, I'm missing most of my calf muscle. Shrapnel on my pelvis as well.
My name's Andy Grant. Below right below knee amputee, and various other injuries. But lost my right leg's the main one.
Yeah, it's Martin Compton. I got 75% burns and 2 gunshot wounds to my leg.
Danny Bottomley, and I've had my left foot blown off.
I'm an ex-Royal Engineer. I was in the Army 5 years, and all these young lads who are injured now, I thought it'd be a quick and simple and inexpensive introduction to motorsports. So I set up KartForce in 2010 for any injured troop, whether injured in service or out of service, to come along and race. So regardless of injury or where they're injured or how they're injured, they can race karts and enter events, and the whole idea is for us to race against non-injured drivers.
Just when I heard about KartForce and injured soldiers being able to come and use adapted go-kart and stuff, it was just a challenge anyway. And go-kart always looks good fun anyway, so I just thought I'd come and get involved with it, and it's been really good.
In 2002, I set up an international karting event with hand controls, where we invited drivers that were injured in the sport, ex-motocross drivers, rally, a superbike racer, all from all over the world, America, Germany, Holland, 3 Israelis, and we had a couple of injured lads, lost their legs in Northern Ireland. But the hand controls that existed were so demanding, the pedals were so stiff on the fingers, that after a few laps the lads' fingers were getting knackered. So, and there were lots of other people that wanted to enter, but the only people that could enter were those with 2 strong functional hands. Anybody with a missing thumb couldn't enter. Anybody with missing fingers couldn't enter. So I wanted to come up with a system that was easier to use. We could fit in any car, quickly installed and removed. So we can go to any track in the country, pop the hand controls on, hold our event. When we finish, take our hand controls off, and the cars revert back to normal. A lot of people ask me, why have you gone for a handlebar rather than a steering wheel? Well, if you've got missing fingers and or even only got one hand, it's hard to steer a kart with one hand. Steering is quite stiff. If you've got a missing thumb, you can't grip onto a steering wheel and use pedals. So that's why I've gone for the handlebar. Throttle, brake, and if necessary, we can put the throttle and the brake on the same side. Or we've got a lad here who's only got one arm, one leg, so he can throttle with his foot and brake with his hand, or any sort of combination. It's simple, it's low tech, it's easy to fit, and that means that we can now race against non-injured drivers on a totally level playing field.
Well, I've never done it before anyway, regardless of my leg or not, and then to come and do it with obviously a false leg, so a bit challenging to get sort of used to it, but after a few laps you sort of get to grips with it.
Obviously the driving is totally different to what obviously I'm used to, like just normal cars and that. And obviously, like I say, I've never done it before, so it's still a big challenge really, and it's just good fun. I love it.
With the hand controls, it's what I found today was on a lot of the cornering, you skid out a lot more. But I can kind of do the foot controls, but sometimes my foot slips on the brake, which you don't want. But it's not. When you've got someone teaching like that, it makes it a lot easier.
A lot of motorsports racing drivers have offered their support, and Johnny's been fantastic, and he's been wanting to help out in some way, and so we found a date that he was available, so he's come along and give the lads some coaching.
Johnny, what sort of inspired you to come down here today?
Well, it was actually Dave Player, who I think you've already talked to, just contacted me out of the blue and just asked me if I'd be interested in coming down and helping out some of the lads with these hand controls that have obviously served and had problems with being involved in explosions or IEDs or whatever. And to be honest, when he sent me the email and I read the history of some of these guys, I was just humbled and inspired at the same time. And I thought, well, absolutely, I'll come down and help out.
It's great, because obviously not many of us, or I don't think any of us have done it before, so to get all the tips that he's given us, it's great, yeah.
You can tell it makes a massive difference, because normally when we're doing it, we just make our own lines and we think we're doing great, which when he goes in front of us and makes you follow him, you can see a massive difference, a lot smoother as well.
Yeah, the pro drivers, yeah, brilliant coming down. You don't get that chance, do you? But yeah, with the other lads, it's one of them really. You don't get to see lads that often, so when something like this happens, everyone gets together. It's good just to get on again.
It's good sort of just socially as well, just to get involved and be doing fun things and stuff. And like I say, just meeting up with the lads who've all, we've all been through the same thing, all got similar injuries, and just to get back in the loop and doing things like this again with the lads, it's good.
Yeah, I love it. Gets me out and about and see all the lads on that, so yeah, I love it.
The guys are telling me you're the best.
I don't know about that, but seems to be out in front sometimes, and that's about it really.
Brilliant, loved it. Can't believe how quick it's gone actually. Time just flies when you're out there.
Your experience of these boys, they seem to be very quick.
They are. They're really good actually. It's funny, whenever we went and did a sort of what they call a motivation day once with the tank regiment and all the troopers there. And it was just like, they're all budding racing drivers, to be honest, and it's the same. I think it's a similar sort of mentality required to be a racing driver as it does to be involved in the services and go out there and put your life on the line. Obviously, those boys are way above what we do, but we're all of the same and similar mindset, I think.
They're certainly inspirational.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, absolutely inspirational. Just makes you realise, puts things in perspective, and they're out there loving it and enjoying it. It's absolutely brilliant to watch.
And when they put their suits on, they're just like you and I.
Absolutely. I was just looking at one of the guys who's got his leg, obviously, and it's absolutely brilliant. It's a real high-tech piece of equipment that he's got there. He's got sensors in it and everything. It's like real high-tech. It's absolutely fascinating.
But there are a certain amount of, a lot about racing drivers is your sensories and having a feel for things. It must be tricky to simulate that sort of thing.
I think it is once obviously with Jason Watt, I think he proved, he was my old teammate and he had a bike accident and he actually paralysed from the chest down. And he carried on racing very successfully in Danish touring cars and doing very well. So I think that shows that although seat of the pants, as they say, is important, obviously all of these guys still have that. They've mostly had arms and legs problems, but I think general instinct and seat of the pants feel, if you've got that, you've got that. Doesn't matter what's happened to you.
And do you think these guys will be successful against the guys with steering wheels?
I think it will take a while, not because of them. I think if you put them into a situation where they had identical karts, I think they would actually be competitive straight away. I think with the very neat handlebar system, I think it's very difficult to actually steer and have finesse with the brake and throttle because you've got them also on the handlebar at the same time. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, and also you can turn the steering more very easily because you've got a handlebar rather than a steering wheel, so you can generate a lot more understeer into the go-kart. So I was just saying to David, ingenious system, but it just probably needs a little bit of fine-tuning, especially for each individual, and then I think they'll be really competitive. So maybe not immediately, but they've definitely got the potential to be very competitive in the future.
And this is something you'll continue helping them out with?
Absolutely, anytime they want me to help out. I was just talking to Dave now about ways we can go testing. Maybe I'll get Lotus involved, see if they can go up to the Lotus test track and actually test and develop one of these cars with the hand controls.
We start off with introductory sessions at indoor kart tracks, and then we progress onto outdoor tracks using corporate karts. But I want to then, for those that want to take it a step further, to start getting into competition karts and competing in mainstream karting, whether as individuals or as part of a team.
Yeah, hopefully, we've got a big race on Sunday against fully able, healthy people, if you like, and obviously we're going to have an adapted car, so it should be interesting to see how we get on with that one. And yeah, the aim is to make it even bigger and to more races and do it up north as well, and and who knows where it can go.
Meanwhile, our man Mowlem was trying so hard to keep up with them, he couldn't even keep it on the black stuff. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Mowlem's Racing Travels. Well, we head off to California now to check out Johnny's new deal with Dyson Racing. This is a bit of a surprise deal in a way, I think. You suddenly stitched this together. You're driving one of the latest LMP1 Lola prototypes with one of your old friends, Guy Smith, and of course the team owner, Chris Dyson. Just tell us first about how the deal came together.
I'm absolutely, first of all, delighted to join Dyson Racing, because ever since I've been racing, and most of my professional career, as you know, has been in America. Ever since I've been racing in the States, I've watched from the outside Dyson Racing team go racing and be extremely successful at every level. So to actually be able to be a part of that now and actually join in, and I can't remember if I was the 38th or the 39th ever Dyson driver, and they've been around for like 25-30 years. Rob Dyson, obviously originally the founder, racing a lot with James Weaver, and he was there, he drove for them for 15-20 years, and Guy Smith himself has been racing with Chris Dyson, who's now in driving and also running the team. And the deal came about initially because we were going to do Le Mans together, and they were looking for an experienced prototype driver for Le Mans. And then obviously through commercial reasons and some other technical reasons, they then decided not to take up their automatic entries for Le Mans. But Chris has obviously still been brilliant about it and honoured the deal, and obviously I'm going to be doing the endurance races with the Dyson Racing team.
So that's 4 races in total?
Yes, I mean it started at Laguna Seca, which didn't go quite as well as we'd hoped, but it was still a great experience for me to be involved with the team. I'd never driven a Lola coupe before, or any coupe for that matter in LMP1, but I'm used to having a roof over my head obviously from GT2 and GT1 racing, and I just enjoyed being a part of it and being back in an LMP, a prototype car, and being able to go obviously for the overall victory, so that was great fun.
Johnny, your debut with the team, as you said, was at an awesome racetrack, Laguna Seca, there near Carmel and Monterey. It's got the famous corkscrew. Just talk us through now a lap of the circuit. I think you had a near miss, and it was really exciting stuff. So we'll have a look at that right now. So here you are, Johnny, on board the Lola from Dyson Racing around this awesome Californian track.
Yeah, just coming up the hill actually out of turn 6 into the corkscrew. You start left, kinks right, you've got to brake over the bumps, turn left, completely blind here, and the elevation change, you see it drops down, you can barely see where you're going, up through the gears up to 4th, through turn 9, very bumpy on the apex, watch the exit, you don't run too wide, and then a dab on the brakes straight down into turn 10, which is very, very fast corner again in 5th gear. And then you see me coming into the final corner then just behind Luis Diaz, catching him up in the HPD, and it was just such a joy to drive this Mazda-backed AER Lola around Laguna Seca. It was one of my favourite all-time tracks. Even the straight there, the main straight, as you see there going over the brow of the hill, isn't straight at all. It kinks left halfway through, and then again back in car, this time coming into the final corner again. You see those GT cars in front. I had a real near miss here as I came out.
Whoa, that was close.
That Porsche, yeah, absolutely unbelievable how I missed him. I'm not quite sure how I did. I got lucky there, but again coming through turn 10 into that final corner, and you can just see what a weapon this car looks like, and it was such a pleasure to drive. And it's one of the most amazing and demanding tracks you'll ever be able to drive, and obviously being inside, I felt like a fighter pilot in a low-flying fighter plane as opposed to actually driving a car. It's an incredible feeling, and although it looks like quite a big car from outside, from actually inside the cockpit, it actually feels a lot smaller, and it's a real joy to drive. You can see that I'm using a lot of the curbs there, these flat curbs around Laguna Seca.